Last Saturday afternoon in Charlotte, North Carolina, a 38-year-old marketing manager named Diana Foster was sitting at her sister-in-law Renee's kitchen table after lunch. Renee had just turned 47, same job title as Diana, same employer, same salary band, both around $98,000 a year, same family situation, both married, 2 kids each. Renee pulled out her phone, pulled up her Fidelity 401k app, showed Diana the screen. The balance read $32,400. Renee said, "I've been contributing 8% for 6 years now. I thought I'd be further along by my late 40s. Diana didn't know what to say, because Diana's own balance, same job, same salary, same contribution rate, was $94,200. The only difference between them, Diana started her 401k at age 32. Renee started hers at age 41. A 9-year gap on the front end. Same exact salary and contribution rate after that. Diana had $61,800 more than Renee, on the same income, with the same effort. Renee said, "How is that possible? I'm contributing the same percentage you are." Diana didn't have a clean answer. She just knew the gap was real and that it had compounded silently across 6 years while Renee was doing what she thought was the right thing. That conversation lasted another 35 minutes. By the end of it, Diana realized something nobody had ever told either of them. There is a specific 10-year window in your financial life, between roughly age 32 and age 42, that quietly determines whether you retire comfortable or retire scrambling. The decisions made inside that window matter dramatically more than the same decisions made 10 years earlier or 10 years later, and almost no one explains the math until it's too late. I'm Trish, and I sit across from the people on both sides of this gap. So the 10-year window, what it is, why it matters this much, the 5 specific decisions that have to happen inside it, and the catch-up framework if you're already past it, you're going to know by the end of this video. Here's the math that explains the Diana-Renee gap. A single $10,000 contribution made at age 32, growing at 7% average return, becomes approximately $95,000 by age 65. That's a 33-year compound runway. The same $10,000 contribution made at age 42 becomes approximately $48,000 by age 65. That's a 23-year runway. The $10,000 has roughly doubled in retirement value just by being contributed 10 years earlier. Now multiply that across an entire career of contributions. A consistent $6,000 a year contributed from age 32 to 42. 10 years of $6,000 contributions, then never contributing another dollar after age 42, produces approximately $580,000 by age 65. A consistent $6,000 a year contributed from age 42 to 65, 23 years of contributions instead of 10, produces approximately $310,000 by age 65. Read that one more time. 10 years of contributions starting at 32 outperforms 23 years of identical contributions starting at 42. By almost double. Same dollars in. The timing is the entire difference. This is why your 30s matter so much. The contributions made between roughly 32 and 42 get a 23 to 33-year compounding runway. They become the structural backbone of your retirement. Every dollar contributed during this window produces approximately 2 to 3 times the retirement value of the same dollar contributed in your 40s. The window closes around age 42. Not absolutely. Every contribution still grows, every dollar still matters. But the multiplier effect drops significantly. After 42, you're rebuilding. Inside the window, you're compounding. Diana hit the window at 32. Renee missed it. Same job, same salary, same talent, different timing. The result will follow them for the rest of their lives. Today, I'm walking you through the 5 specific decisions Walter, the retired accountant from earlier in this series, gave Diana when she called him after that lunch. The 5 moves that have to happen inside the window, and the catch-up framework Renee started running the same week. One thing before Walter's framework. I am not telling you that hitting the window guarantees retirement security, or that missing it guarantees retirement failure. There are people who started at 28 and lost everything. There are people who started at 45 and built $2 million. The window is the most efficient compound period of your life. It is not destiny. What the window is, the highest leverage decade for compound returns. Decisions made inside it produce 2 to 3 times the wealth of the same decisions made later. If you're inside the window right now, your job is to maximize the dollars flowing into the right accounts during this period. If you're already past the window, Renee's situation, your job is different. Aggressive catch-up contributions, compressed timeline planning, and structural choices that overweight tax efficiency since you have less time for compound to do the work for you. Both paths are survivable. The first path is meaningfully easier. That's the entire point. Walter walked Diana through the 5 decisions for the inside-the-window version. Then he gave her the catch-up version for Renee. Here's both. Decision 1. Age 30 to 32. The architecture setup. Walter started with the foundational decision. He said, the 30 to 32 window is when you build the account structure that runs for the next 30 years, not the contributions, the architecture. Most people skip this step and pay for it forever. The architecture has 3 parts. A 401k or 403b through your employer, contributing at least enough to capture the full employer match. That's an immediate 50 to 100% return on those dollars. A Roth IRA opened at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab, contributing whatever you can afford up to the annual limit, $7,000 for 2026 if you're under 50. And, for anyone with high-deductible health insurance, a health savings account opened through your employer or directly with a provider like Fidelity HSA. This 3-account structure is what we covered in the David Park video earlier in this series. The 401k handles the bulk of contributions and captures employer match. The Roth IRA handles tax-free growth that doesn't require RMDs in retirement. The HSA handles the most tax-advantaged dollars in the entire IRS code. Diana opened all 3 at age 30. She started small, 4% into the 401k for the match, $200 a month into the Roth IRA, $150 a month into the HSA. The total monthly contribution was modest. The architecture was complete. Renee had only her 401k. No Roth IRA, no HSA. She'd been told the 401k was the retirement account and never set up the others. Walter told Diana, Renee's first move this week is opening the Roth IRA she should have opened 15 years ago. The window is closed for compound. The architecture window can still be repaired. For working professionals between 28 and 32, the architecture decision is the most important one in this entire video. Set up the 3 accounts now. Even if your initial contributions are tiny, the structure does the work later. Decision 2. Age 33 to 35, the employer match and escalator. Walter moved to the second decision. He said, once the architecture is built, the next 3 years are about locking in the contribution rate that runs for the rest of your career. 2 specific moves. Move 1. Capture the full employer match. If your employer matches 100% up to 6% of your salary, you contribute 6%. Period. Anything less is leaving free money on the table. Diana raised her 401k contribution from 4% to 6% at age 33. The moment she got her first promotion. The promotion bumped her salary $4,200 a year. She redirected $2,500 of that raise into 401k matching territory. Her take-home pay still went up, but the match captured an additional $5,880 a year of free employer money. Move 2. The contribution escalator. Marcus Rivera, the electrician from earlier in this series who built $1.1 million on $72,000, uses this exact pattern. Every 6 months, raise your contribution rate by 1%. Set a calendar reminder. Don't think about it. Just raise it. Diana followed Marcus's pattern starting at 33. Her contribution rate climbed from 6% to 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. By age 36, she was contributing 10%, and her take-home felt almost identical to age 33 because the raises absorbed the increase. Renee never escalated. She set 8% at 41 and held it there. Static contribution rate. No employer match optimization. No escalator. The compounding window kept closing while she ran in place. Decision 3. Age 36 to 38. The HSA. As third retirement vehicle. Walter paused before the third decision. This is the one most professionals miss entirely. He said, "Your HSA is not a healthcare account. It's the best retirement account in the IRS code. People who treat it as a healthcare account spend it down every year and miss the entire point." Here's why the HSA matters specifically inside the 30s window. HSA contributions are deductible from federal income tax and payroll tax when made through payroll. The growth is tax-free. Withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free. After age 65, withdrawals for any purpose are taxed like a traditional IRA. Triple tax advantage. Nothing else in the IRS code matches it. The strategic move: fund the HSA every year up to the family limit. Currently $8,750 for 2026. Pay current medical expenses out of pocket where possible. Save the receipts. The HSA balance grows untouched, invested in index funds, compounding for decades. Decades from now, you can reimburse yourself tax-free for any qualified medical expense across the entire life of the account with the receipts you saved. Diana started funding her HSA at age 30 at $150 a month. By 36, she was funding it at $725 a month, full family limit. By age 38, the HSA balance was around $58,000. That balance compounds for the next 27 years untouched. Her projected HSA balance at 65, approximately $390,000 of tax-free multi-purpose retirement money. Renee never had an HSA, different health insurance plan. By the time she could have switched to a high-deductible plan to enable HSA contributions, she was 44 and her medical needs were higher. The HSA structure quietly closed for her. For working professionals inside the 30s window, if you have any option to enroll in HSA-eligible health coverage, evaluate it carefully. The retirement value of the HSA over 25 to 30 years often exceeds the higher medical out-of-pocket cost during your healthy years. Decision 4. Age 39 to 41. Tax diversification. Walter moved to the fourth decision. He said, "By the time you hit 39, your retirement contributions have been running for 7 to 9 years. Most of them are pre-tax. That's a problem you should fix before 41. The problem? Pre-tax 401k contributions reduce your taxable income today, but every dollar withdrawn in retirement is taxed as ordinary income. If your retirement income is high enough, you'll be paying 22 to 32% federal tax on every dollar of that retirement money. The fix? Tax diversification across 3 buckets. Pre-tax 401k, Roth IRA, taxable brokerage. Each bucket has different tax treatment in retirement. Having all 3 gives you control over your effective tax rate when you start drawing income. Diana's allocation at 38 was about 70% pre-tax, 25% Roth, 5% taxable. Walter recommended she shift to 50/30/20 across her remaining working years. Specifically, increase Roth IRA contributions to the full $7,000 a year. Open a taxable brokerage account at Vanguard or Fidelity. Direct any salary increases above her current contribution rate into the brokerage instead of more pre-tax 401k. The backdoor Roth IRA technique, covered in the David Park video earlier, also matters here. For high earners whose income exceeds Roth IRA direct contribution limits, the backdoor Roth allows continued Roth funding through a non-deductible traditional IRA contribution converted immediately to Roth. This becomes especially valuable in the 39 to 41 window when your income is likely peaking. Renee's situation was simpler and harsher: 100% pre-tax, zero Roth. The remaining 20 working years before retirement were her only chance to build any tax-free buckets. Walter recommended she max out Roth IRA every year going forward and consider Roth 401k contributions at her employer if available. Decision 5. Age 41 to 42. The window close and transition. Walter paused longer before the fifth decision. He said, by 41 or 42, the highest leverage compound years are behind you. The next phase is different. 2 specific moves. Move 1. Calculate your retirement trajectory honestly. Tools like the Fidelity Retirement Planner, Vanguard Retirement Calculator, or any financial planning software will project your current trajectory based on current balances and contribution rates. Diana ran hers at 38. Trajectory said $1.4 million by age 65. She wanted $2 million. The gap was identifiable and addressable. Move 2. Close any identifiable trajectory gap with structural moves rather than small adjustments. If you're $500,000 short of your target, you can't get there by adding $50 a month. You need either a meaningful contribution rate increase, a longer working timeline, a side income source, or a downsizing of expected retirement expenses. The honest math at 41 lets you make these decisions while you still have time to execute them. Diana's trajectory gap of about $600,000 closed by raising her 401k contribution from 12% to 17% at age 39. Combined with her other contributions, her total retirement contribution rate hit 24% of gross income. The math says she'll hit her $2 million target by 64 instead of 65. Renee's trajectory at 47 said $310,000 at age 65. She wanted $1 million. Walter helped her run the catch-up math. The gap requires saving 35% of gross income for the next 18 years, plus delaying retirement to 67, plus capturing the catch-up contribution provision starting at 50. Aggressive, difficult, but possible if she commits. The honest trajectory math at 41 is uncomfortable. It is also the only way to make informed decisions while you still have the time to act on them. The catch-up framework for those past the window. Walter ended with the framework for Renee, and for any viewer who's past 42 with less than they hoped. 3 principles. Principle 1. Accept that compound is no longer your primary tool. You have less runway. Tax efficiency, contribution maximization, and structural optimization become more important than time in market. Every dollar of tax saved or matched is worth multiples of every dollar of investment return. Principle 2. Capture every catch-up contribution provision available. At 50, the 401k catch-up adds another $8,000 a year, $32,500 total. The IRA catch-up adds $1,100, $8,100 total. For ages 60 to 63, the super catch-up adds $11,250 to the 401k, bringing the total to $35,750. These provisions exist specifically because Congress recognized millions of Americans hit their 50s undersaved. Use them. Principle 3. Reconsider retirement timeline and lifestyle. Each year of delayed retirement increases Social Security benefits and reduces the years your portfolio has to fund. Each $1,000 of reduced annual retirement spending is equivalent to approximately $25,000 of additional savings. The honest conversation about retirement age and lifestyle is harder than the contribution math, but more impactful. Renee started executing all three principles the week after her conversation with Diana. Her trajectory still won't be Diana's, but it's no longer the unconscious drift she was on. 3 objections come up here. Let me handle them. Objection 1. I'm 35 and behind. Is the window already closed for me? No. The window runs from approximately 32 to 42. At 35, you have 7 of those 10 years remaining. The compound math still favors you. The framing that matters, every dollar contributed at 35 still gets a 30-year compound runway. That dollar grows roughly 6 to 8 times by age 65 at typical returns. You haven't missed the window. You've consumed 3 years of it. You have 7 left to maximize. Open the architecture this week. Capture full employer match. Start the 1% escalator. Add the Roth IRA. Add the HSA if eligible. By the time you hit 42, you'll have 7 years of compounding inside the window, plus 23 more years of compounding after. The result is meaningfully better than starting at 42. The window doesn't close on a specific birthday. It closes gradually as compound runway shrinks. Today is always the optimal day to start, given that you can't start yesterday. Objection 2. I'm 47 like Renee. Is it really worth pushing this hard? Yes. The compound math is less favorable, but the absolute numbers still matter dramatically. Renee's catch-up framework, saving 35% of gross income from 47 to 67, capturing all catch-up provisions, working until 67, projects to about $850,000 at retirement. Compared to her current trajectory of $310,000, that's a $540,000 improvement. The lifestyle difference between $310,000 and $850,000 of retirement savings is substantial. Yes, it requires aggressive effort. Yes, it means lifestyle compromises today. But the choice is between aggressive effort now and severe constraint at 70. Most people, when they understand the math, choose the aggressive effort. The constraint at 70 is harder. Objection 3. What if I have kids, debt, and zero room to save more right now? Real situation, real fix. The architecture decision, opening the right accounts, capturing employer match, costs $0 beyond what you're already paying. It's structural. Do it now, even if your contribution rate is small. The escalator move, raising your contribution by 1% every 6 months, is timed to your raises. You don't feel the loss because your take-home keeps growing. The escalator works specifically for people who don't think they have room to save more. For high-interest debt, credit cards, personal loans, yes, paying those off first makes sense. But also, maintain at least the employer match in your 401k while doing it. The 100% match return on those dollars exceeds even high-interest debt costs. Don't skip the match to accelerate debt payoff. The no-room framing is usually about lifestyle, not survival income. The audit Lisa from earlier in this series did at 47, finding $1,200 a month she didn't realize she was spending, applies to most households. Run that audit. Find the room. Use it. 3 steps. This week, tailored to wherever you are in the window. Step 1. Tonight. The position check. Calculate your current age. Identify which window phase you're in. Pre-window, under 32. Setup phase. Open architecture immediately. Inside window, 32 to 42. Maximization phase. Run all 5 decisions. Past window, over 42. Catch-up phase. Run aggressive catch-up framework. For each phase, identify the one move that's missing. For most viewers in their 30s, it's either the Roth IRA, the HSA, or the contribution escalator. Pick the one you don't have. That's tomorrow's project. 15 minutes tonight. Step 2. This week, the account opening. If you don't have a Roth IRA, open one this week at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Takes 15 minutes online. Fund it with whatever you can. $50, $200, $500. The amount matters less than the architecture being in place. If you don't have an HSA and you're eligible, talk to your HR department this week about switching to HSA-eligible health coverage during your next open enrollment. Run the math on whether the higher deductible is worth the HSA tax advantages. For most healthy professionals in their 30s, it is. If your 401k contribution rate is below the employer match, raise it this week through your HR portal. The 5-minute change captures thousands of dollars of free money over the rest of your career. Step 3. This month, the Escalator setup. Inside your 401k portal, find the automatic increase or annual escalator feature. Set it to raise your contribution rate by 1 percentage point every year, or every 6 months if your plan allows. Set the cap at 15% or your maximum allowable rate. This single setting, configured once, runs in the background for years. Your contribution rate climbs steadily without you thinking about it. Your raises absorb the increases. Your retirement balance grows faster than you'd plan it to. Diana set this at 33. By 38, her contribution rate had climbed to 12% without a single conscious decision after the initial setup. The Escalator did the work. 3 steps: the position check, the account opening, the escalator. Diana ran all 3 at age 30. Renee is running them now at 47 on the catch-up version. You can run yours this month on whichever version your age requires. The window is still open for most viewers of this video. It will not be open forever. If this video helped you, or if you've ever felt the silent pressure of watching the years pass without knowing how much they cost, do me one favor. Hit the subscribe button. New video on this channel every single day. Each one is a specific move that puts real money back in your pocket, same way this one just did. And here's what's coming tomorrow that connects directly back to the credit card framework we covered earlier this series. There is a specific move banks make every 12 to 18 months that quietly cuts the credit limits of millions of Americans. It happens silently. Most cardholders never notice until they try to make a large purchase or apply for a mortgage and discover their utilization ratio looks worse than they remembered. The move is called a credit limit reduction, and banks execute it for reasons that have nothing to do with your behavior as a customer. They do it for portfolio risk management. They do it for regulatory positioning. They do it for marketing reasons you'd never guess. Tomorrow, I walk you through exactly when banks reduce credit limits, why they pick the specific cards they pick, how to detect a reduction before it damages your score, and the 3 specific moves to either reverse it or prevent it from happening to your other cards. If you carry any credit card balance, or if you've been planning around your current credit limits, tomorrow's video is mandatory. I'm Trish. Talk to you then.